If you're building a team today, here's the reality. Some of your teammates might live across the country, across the ocean, or in a time zone you've never worked in before. And while remote work has unlocked incredible opportunities, it's also created one of the hardest challenges for leaders. How do you build real trust with people you've never met in person? I'm Erin from Paired, and in this video, we're going to talk about how to build trust with remote and overseas team members. By the end, you'll know why trust is the cornerstone of global teams, the common mistakes that kills trust fast, and the step-by-step strategies you can use to make sure your team feels connected, accountable, and excited to work together. Why trust matters more than ever. Remote work isn't some future trend anymore. It's here now. Platforms like Zoom, Slack, and Notion are basically our new office hallways, and your teammates, they could as easily be in Latin America or Indonesia as they are in New York. But here is the thing. Trust doesn't simply appear in a global team. Since you can't lean on each other for hallway conversations or quick coffee chats, you really have to be intentional about creating it. Without that, it's easy for misunderstandings to grow and for projects to drift off track. On the flip side, when trust is strong, remote teams actually run faster than in-person ones because people communicate openly, own their work, and deliver without those constant check-ins. And that's the power of trust done right. Step 1, define what trust looks like on your team. Clarity comes first. Trust isn't just we all like each other. It's about knowing what's expected, seeing people follow through, and having communication that's open and reliable. I want you to think about the last time you felt let down. It usually came from unclear expectations or someone not following through. That's why spelling things out matters so much. This means spelling out what done means. Are there clear timelines, deliverable expectations, and agreed channel for updates? And don't just set these from the top. Ask your team what they need for trust and clarity, and make norms two-way whenever possible. To make this practical, ask yourself if your team members know exactly what done means in concrete terms. Make sure they also understand when and how to update you without guessing. Finally, check whether they genuinely believe you'll follow through when you promise something. Write this down, make it explicit. Remote teams thrive when the rules of the game are visible to everyone, not hidden in assumptions. And if you're not sure what your team values most, you can just ask them directly. What makes you feel like you can trust a teammate? Their answers will give you the blueprint, and you might be surprised at how simple and human those answers are. Step 2, build a digital presence that shows up consistently. It also means keeping communication clear by deciding in advance what belongs in Slack, what should go in email, and what needs to live in your project tool. And do not underestimate async video or voice messages. Tools like Loom or simply sending a quick voice note can provide that tone and clarity that a text sometimes misses. It's also worth hosting open virtual office hours for anyone to drop in with questions or casual chat behind the text. Use video because a quick face-to-face builds far more trust than a wall of written messages. If you're inconsistent online, skipping updates, or leaving vague notes, trust slips away. But if you show up in the same clear way each week, your team knows that they can count on you. Step 3, showcase your humanity. Big companies might be able to offer bigger salaries, but what they usually cannot provide is a sense of that closeness and a genuine connection. That's where smaller businesses and startups really do stand out. You have a chance to make things feel personal and human in a way that larger organizations often miss. Trust grows when people feel like they're actually seen and valued. You can do this by sharing little behind the scene moments that show the real people behind the work. You can celebrate wins of all sizes, from a major client small wins. When you as a leader share your own struggles or the lessons that you've learned, it sets the standard for honest, real connection. And when mistakes happen, be open about them and explain how you're going to fix them. It shows big accountability and it builds respect. The more you show up as real and consistent, the more your team mirrors that same energy back. Over time, that's what creates an honest and open culture across borders. This is also why at Paired, we put so much focus on cultural fit. It isn't just about matching you with someone who has the right skills. It's about connecting you with people who communicate clearly, show up with reliability, and naturally help build trust from the first day. Step 4, communicate growth and stability. Here's one of the biggest questions new team members ask themselves quietly. Can I trust this company to last? To answer that, you need to be proactive. Share milestones and client wins with your team so they see progress in action. Be very transparent about your growth plan so people know what's ahead, and celebrate progress out loud so your team feels confident that they're part of something stable. But try not to communicate just the wins, also the lessons learned. Sharing what didn't go as planned and how you fix things normalizes vulnerability and reinforces your team's sense of safety and trust. Always explain the why behind changes, new directions, not just the what. You don't need to act like a Fortune 500. You just need to prove that you're serious betting their career on. Step 5, create intentional global rituals. Listen, trust doesn't automatically grow just because you hire people in different time zones. You have to be deliberate about creating it. And that's where rituals come in. Think of them as the glue that keeps everyone connected, even when you're not sharing the same office. You can start the week with a Monday kickoff meeting to set the tone and align priorities, and the week with a Friday wins and lessons recap so people feel closure and recognition. In between, create a Slack ritual where everyone shares one personal highlight each week. It reminds the team they're working with real people and not just avatars. And most importantly, protect overlapping hours so no one feels pressured into 2 a.m. calls just to stay in the loop. These rituals give your team rhythm, and that rhythm builds a sense of safety. When people feel safe, they're more willing to share ideas, collaborate openly, and push projects forward. That's when speed and creativity really kick in. At Paired, we've built frameworks like this into our process. We don't just help you hire overseas talent, we give you the playbook to integrate them smoothly so trust grows naturally instead of falling apart. Common mistakes leaders make. Let's pause here and talk about where most leaders go wrong. The first mistake is micromanaging, because checking in every hour signals you actually don't trust your team. The second mistake is overpromising. Don't claim endless growth. If you're a 5-person team, people will definitely see through it. The third mistake is ignoring onboarding. Since trust isn't just won in interviews, it's built in how you welcome people once they do join your team. And finally, there's time zone blindness. Scheduling meetings without thinking about local hours will destroy goodwill instantly. Bringing it together, a simple trust framework. If you want something simple to remember, here's the trust framework you can put into practice tomorrow. Start with clarity by writing down what done really means. Then focus on consistency by keeping your promises, both big and by sharing the real you instead of hiding behind a polished mask. And finally, create rituals that build predictable rhythms across your team. So let's recap. Building trust with team members you've never met comes down to 5 big moves. First, define what trust looks like on your team. Second, build a consistent digital presence. Third, showcase your humanity. Fourth, communicate growth and stability. And fifth, create intentional global rituals that keep everyone connected. You don't need in-person happy hours to do this. You need clarity, consistency, and intentionality. And remember, if you need help finding overseas talent you can actually trust, Paired is here to help. We'll match you with top candidates and save you up to 80% on payroll. Links in the description to book your free call strategy. This is Erin from Paired. Thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a comment and tell me what's one ritual you're committing to this week to build trust with your team. Let's learn from each other.